Okay, so I want to go over these two stoichiometry problems now. There are also mass-to-mass stoichiometry problems, which is the hardest type of stoichiometry problem. You're given grams of one thing in the first problem, question number 3 here. It says 5.5 grams of lithium chloride. I want to know how many grams of calcium chloride will be produced according to this balanced equation. All equations must be balanced before you even do any stoichiometry problem. So this equation is already balanced, but if you're not sure, you should always check to make sure it's balanced. But it already is. I'm just telling you it is. Okay, so we are going to do this problem. All I know from this balanced equation, let's read it together. 1 mole of magnesium and 2 moles of sodium fluoride. 1 mole of magnesium, 2 moles of sodium fluoride makes 1 mole of magnesium fluoride and 2 moles of sodium. So coefficients 1, 2, 1, 2. 1 mole of magnesium, 2 moles of sodium fluoride makes 1 mole of magnesium fluoride and 2 moles of sodium. All I know are these moles to moles ratio. I'm given 5.5 grams of lithium chloride. The question is lithium, wait, I think that's probably a typo there. That probably should say sodium fluoride. Okay, I'm going to change the question because there is no lithium chloride in this. Um, okay, let's change that to sodium fluoride. Okay, because that would make absolutely no sense. It's like telling you to make a cake and I give you a cookie recipe. Okay, so starting with 5.5 grams of sodium fluoride, I just changed the question, which is this thing. Question is, how many grams of calcium chloride? Okay, let's change that to magnesium fluoride because that also makes no sense. Magnesium fluoride, magnesium fluoride. Okay, sorry. Okay, so let's start this again. If you start at 5.5 grams of sodium fluoride, that one, how many grams of magnesium fluoride this thing will be produced? Okay, all I know from this balance equation is 2 moles of sodium fluoride makes 1 mole of magnesium fluoride. 2 moles, coefficient 2, 2 moles of sodium fluoride makes 1 mole of magnesium fluoride. 2 moles of sodium fluoride, NaF, makes 1 mole of magnesium fluoride, 1 mole MgF2. I know that again, coefficient 2, coefficient 1, coefficient 2, coefficient 1. Okay, I'm given 5.5 grams of sodium fluoride. So let me write that down as my given. 5.5 grams of NaF, sodium fluoride. Okay, so the first thing is I'm given grams. I want to change. All I know are moles to moles. First step is change my grams to moles. To change grams to moles or moles to grams, I need to find. What do I need to find? To change grams to moles or moles to grams, you first always need to find the molar mass. How much does 1 mole of the substance, in this case sodium fluoride, weigh in grams? To find molar mass, we need a periodic table. Look up the molar mass of sodium. Look up the molar mass of fluorine. Add them together. 22.99 plus 19 on my calculator is 41.99. 41.99. 1 mole of sodium fluoride weighs 41.99 grams. Now I can change my grams to moles. I'll use this conversion factor there. There's 41.99 grams of sodium fluoride in 1 mole of sodium fluoride. Notice grams of sodium fluoride cancel. Now I just have moles of sodium fluoride. And I want that because I also know 2 moles of sodium fluoride makes 1 mole magnesium fluoride. 2 moles of sodium fluoride makes 1 mole of magnesium fluoride. Coefficient 2, 2 moles of sodium fluoride, makes coefficient 1, 1 mole of magnesium fluoride. I put the sodium fluoride in the denominator so that it'll cancel out. Now I have moles of magnesium fluoride. But I'm not trying to find the number of moles of magnesium fluoride. I'm trying to find the number of grams of magnesium fluoride. To change grams to moles or moles to grams, we always need to find the molar mass. How much does 1 mole of magnesium fluoride weigh? So I have to look up magnesium on the periodic table. And and I found magnesium. It's 24.31. You have to look that up. You don't memorize this stuff. Oops, I also realized I'm missing a 2 there. MgF2. That 2 is important because that's 2 fluorines, each fluorine being 19. So that's 1 magnesium, 2 fluorines. So add that up, 24.31 plus 2 times 19, I'll just put it here. 24.31 plus 2 times 19 is 62.31 grams of magnesium fluoride, MgF2. Okay, so now I know how much 1 mole of magnesium fluoride weighs. 1 mole of magnesium fluoride weighs 62.31 grams. 1 mole of magnesium fluoride, I put down a denominator, so cancel out with this one, weighs 62.31 grams magnesium fluoride. Okay, so moles of magnesium fluoride cancels, and I have 5.5 times 62.31 divided by 41.99 and divided by 2. And what was my answer? I'll have to type that in a calculator right here. 5.5 times 62.31 divided by 41.99 and 2. And I got 4.08. So don't worry about sig figs. Technically, it should be 2 sig figs, but what did I just say? 4.08. Okay, if you want to be technical, 2 sig figs. 4.1 is probably the more accurate answer, but 4.08 grams of magnesium fluoride. Let's not worry about sig figs for this particular question right now. But again, if you want to be technical, 2 sig figs. Okay, 4.08 grams of magnesium fluoride. So if I start with 5.5 grams of sodium fluoride, how many grams of magnesium fluoride will be produced? 4.08 grams. Okay, the next question, number 4 here. If you start with 20 grams of hydrochloric acid, which is this thing, I would tell you that, that's hydrochloric acid. How many grams of sulfuric acid will be produced? That one. Okay. All I know is 2 moles of HCl, hydrochloric acid, makes 1 mole H2SO4. 2 moles of HCl, hydrochloric acid, makes 1 mole of H2SO4, sulfuric acid. Okay, the equation technically reads 2 moles of hydrochloric acid, 1 mole of sodium sulfate makes 2 moles of sodium chloride, and 1 mole of sulfuric acid. I only care about these two because the question asks about that. Okay, it didn't ask how much salt or sodium chloride is produced. It didn't ask how much sodium sulfate I needed. Those weren't the question. The question just says starting with 20 grams of hydrochloric acid, HCl, how many grams of sulfuric acid, H2SO4, will be produced? I just know 2 moles of hydrochloric acid makes 1 mole, hydrochloric acid makes 1 mole of sulfuric acid. That's all I know from the balance equation. So first thing is change my grams to moles. How do I change grams to moles again? I know I need to find the molar mass. How much does 1 mole of HCl weigh? Look up hydrogen on a periodic table, 1.01. Look up chlorine on the periodic table, 35.45. And add that up, that's 36, oops, typo there, 36.46. How do I know hydrogen's 1.01, chlorine's 35.45? It's on the periodic table. You have to look it up. You don't memorize that. Well, you can if you feel like it. Since I'm at this, I might as well find a molar mass of H2SO4 now. I will need this at some point, so I might as well just do it now. This is 2 hydrogens, 1 sulfur, and 4 oxygens. 2 times hydrogen, hydrogen's 1.01. Sulfur is, I think it's 32.06. Oxygen, 4 times 16 for oxygen. Add that all up, and I do not have that memorized, or I can't do that in my head. So what is that? 2 times 1.01 plus 32.06 plus 4 times 16, 98.08. 98.08 grams H2SO4. Okay, oops, this a little bit off the screen. There we go. Okay, so now let's do this problem. So in a way, here are my 1, 2, 3 conversion factors I'm going to use to solve this problem. First thing, I change my grams of HCl to moles using the second conversion factor. There's 36.46 grams HCl in 1 mole HCl. There are 36.46 grams of HCl in 1 mole of HCl, hydrochloric acid. Notice grams HCl cancel. Next step, I'm going to use this first conversion factor. 2 moles HCl makes 1 mole H2SO4. 2 moles of HCl, that was from the balance equation, 2 moles HCl makes 1 mole H2SO4. 1 mole of H2SO4, sulfuric acid. Moles of HCl cancel, hydrochloric acid. Now moles of H2SO4. The question doesn't say how many moles of sulfuric acid. The question is how many grams. I'm going to use this third conversion factor. I know that 1 mole of H2SO4 weighs 98.08 grams. That was the molar mass that I found where I numbered it 3 right there. Now moles of H2SO4 cancels out. The only thing that's left are grams of H2SO4. How much is it? It would be 20 times 98.08 divided by 36.46 and 2. So I type that in my calculator. 20 divided by 36.46 divided by 2 times 98.08. And on my calculator, I got 26.9. Okay. If you want to be technical, oh, well, that's probably technically 1 sig fig. Let's not worry about sig figs for the point of this question. Okay, I have 3 sig figs in this, but I probably could add more. Well, technically that's 1 sig fig. So let's not worry about sig figs, but I got 26.9. So if I saw 20 grams of hydrochloric acid HCl, how many grams of sulfuric acid will be produced? 26.9 grams of hydrochloric acid. And so that's it for that.